What's going on, guys? I hope that you're all having a wonderful day today. For those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Ty, and today in this video, I'm going to be ranking every single upcoming MCU project by excitement. Am I hyped for some of these projects, or could I just not care less about some of them? Let's take a look at my tier list. As you guys can see here, I have 19 shows and movies that we're going to be talking about today. I only included projects that are either confirmed or like in production, or that we've heard some type of official news about. So movies like Doctor Strange 3, Black Panther 3 aren't going to be on here. By the way, I just want to give the biggest shout out to Chris over at Filmstocked. He just made a video like this about a week ago and he inspired me to make this tier list today. If you guys want to check his channel out, it's going to be linked down below. Chris, shout out to you. You inspired me making my channel, and I still watch pretty much every single one of your videos if you happen to see this. So yeah, let's dive right into this. Alright, so we're going to be starting with Agatha All Along here, an MCU show. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you, I just feel like the MCU needs to slow down or just stop making these shows as a whole. I don't know why we're making a spin-off of an MCU show like we just did with Echo, which ended up being an absolute disaster class when it comes to storytelling and just showing that the streaming format is clearly made just for content. This is gonna go in I just watched the trailer like half-assed, if I'm gonna be honest with you, and I mean, there was some interesting things in there. I saw they were teasing Wanda, but I just don't know what they're doing with this show. We're doing a spin-off of an MCU show. Like, what are we doing here? Making MCU shows is already a spin-off of the MCU, like the movies, so why are we making this? Don't get me wrong, there's some good MCU shows. I love Catherine Hahn, but at the same time, this just doesn't really interest me that much. I'm like dreading watching it, to be completely honest with you. This might be one of the first MCU shows that I don't end up finishing, but again, I'm gonna give it a shot because that's only fair. But yeah, I mean, we'll just see what happens once it comes out. Up next is gonna be Armor Wars. I know that I said I'm only talking about movies that are like in production or confirmed, but this is a movie that has had like news about it in the past couple of years, like official news and like date releases and, you know, dates that have been pushed back. Armor Wars I literally couldn't care less about after two things. First of all, what they just did with Rhodey in Secret Invasion, and second of all, what they did with Sharon Carter as like the power broker, and how apparently that's going to tie into Armor Wars because she's like dealing with weapons or something. I could not be less interested in this movie. And it sucks because at first I really liked the idea of maybe implementing some like Winter Soldier elements into this, like some espionage, spy, political thriller elements in here. But at this point, I just don't care. I don't know what's going on with this movie. It was supposed to practically come out like next year or even this year, and we haven't even heard like a release date for it or anything. There's some release dates on the Marvel calendar that still haven't been announced yet, but yeah, I don't know if this movie's ever even going to come out. Speaking of movies that probably will never come out, Blade. Listen, I get it. Some people are still holding out hope. I have a hot take, and I really don't care about this hot take. I don't care about this movie. And let me just say this. First of all, I care about it more than Armor Wars, so I'm going to put it in front. I actually believe that this movie should be scrapped at this point. I get it. Oh my god, no, but I want to see Mahershala Ali. No, but they're making progress on it. They're making progress. Guys, it's been way too long, and I'm going to be honest, with the way that the MCU's heading, where in less than 3 years, we're going to have Secret Wars, and we need to kind of build up Doomsday, and we need to build up Secret Wars. I just feel like that's going to be the point where we reset the MCU. We don't need to be setting up a new character. The MCU, at the end of the day, just ran out of time. It's over. Delete this movie. Scrap this movie. By releasing this film, it's like you're opening up another character into the MCU, and you just don't need him. Maybe after Secret Wars, once we have like our rebooted MCU, if that's going to be a thing, introduce Blade as like a younger actor. But man, Mahershala Ali, he's getting up there in age. It's been 5 years since this movie's been announced, and on top of that, there's no way it's coming out next year in like November. That's literally going to be impossible. So I just think they should scrap this movie. Even though I said I should scrap it, I'm still more excited for it than Armor Wars because, yeah, I want to see Mahershala Ali. I love the guy as Blade. That would be sick to see, especially if it's R-rated, but I just think that for a business decision and just for the cohesion of the MCU and where I think they should be headed, they need to get rid of this film. Next up's a bit of a controversial film, that being Captain America Brave New World. I feel like the reason I'm saying it's controversial is because there's been so many reshoots for this movie apparently. The budget's been inflated because the script's been rewritten a bunch. Reshoots, I get it. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to invest in this movie a little bit. I'm just going to kind of go in blind and just say, you know what? I'm hyped for this movie. The trailer, the editing specifically, sold me for this film. They said, we're trying to go back to the Winter Soldier format. I know that we're having Red Hulk in here, which I'm not the biggest fan of, because I'm just not really like a Hulk guy in general, honestly. But regardless, I still am pretty excited for this film. I think it's going to be pretty cool. I think that this is going to be the movie too, and this is so important. This is going to be the film to kind of bring back that connective tissue to the MCU. Maybe we'll see some characters show up in here. And I don't want this to be a cameo fest. That's not what I'm saying. But, you know, trying to get the Avengers back together or just trying to figure out what's going on in the world. We saw, like, the Eternals, Tiamat, the Celestial coming out of the ocean in the trailer. Feels like we're finally getting to see what's going on in the MCU with this film. And it looks pretty good. Hopefully they clean up some of that CGI, though. But regardless, I really like Sam Wilson as Captain America. So, yeah, it's going to go in hyped for now. Daredevil Born Again. Now, listen. I've been talking a lot of crap about MCU Disney Plus shows for the past couple of months or years, but I'm just going to be real. And again, I'm an MCU fan. Like, I try to go into these shows positive, but they always just disappoint me. Daredevil Born Again, I am definitely hyped for. It's going to go behind Captain America because we haven't really seen a trailer, even though D23, Disney's event, is this upcoming Saturday. So I probably should have made this video after that, but I just wanted to make it, so who cares? I have not seen Daredevil's seasons 1 to 3. I've only watched the first season. But with that being said, I'm still pretty excited. I really like Charlie Cox's Daredevil. I feel like the way that they introduced him into the MCU so far has been pretty horrible. Like, yeah, they soft launched him in No Way Home, which was cool, just to acknowledge he's in the universe. Then they brought him into She-Hulk, which I thought was really dumb, especially if they want to continue off of season 3 of Daredevil and they want to actually make it canon. Then they involved all this Kingpin stuff. It just feels kind of stupid the way that they dealt with Kingpin so far. So yeah, I'm excited for this show, especially because they scrapped it and they said, hey, we need to make sure this is going to be good, and they brought back Foggy and Karen. But yeah, I'm definitely going to watch the whole show before this. But yeah, I'm definitely pretty hyped. I have a little bit of faith in them. Up next is going to be the talk of the town, Avengers Doomsday. See, in my heart, I want to put this in I Need You, but this is the problem. I just don't know where the MCU is headed. I don't know who the Avengers are. I don't know who this Doctor Doom is. That's Robert Downey Jr. Like, if we just got a normal Doctor Doom announcement, I think that I'd be able to put this in, like, I Need You or hyped. But the way they're going with Robert Downey Jr., even though I still am leaning a bit on the positive side, I just don't know what's going on here. I'm going to put this towards the top of curious, okay? Because I'm curious with what they're going to do. I just need some information, that's all. I'm not like saying that I'm super skeptical about this movie, but again, I just need more time to pass. I need more information. Who are the Avengers? Who is this Tony Stark Doctor Doom? Can we see a trailer? I know that they haven't even started like practically writing the script or like filming or whatever, but I'm just saying I need more information. I want to get some concrete info. Then I'm going to say, yup, I'm excited for Avengers Doomsday. But don't get me wrong, man. The next Avengers movie, I can't act like I'm not going to be excited for that. Up next is going to be Eyes of Wakanda, the animated Wakanda series. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. This is one of these shows where for some reason, I'm actually pretty curious about it. It's going to go behind Avengers Doomsday, of course, but I don't know what it is, but just hearing this premise that it's animated, Ryan Coogler is going to be involved, and it's going to be within the realm of Wakanda, I'm honestly pretty hyped for that. I don't know, maybe it's just me, and I get it. All these shows have been kind of like misses, but with animation, I feel like you could actually do more, and, you know, hopefully they could actually just focus on the storytelling rather than trying to get all these actors in here, worrying about cameos and stuff, just to nail a story in Wakanda. A little self-contained story. I think it could be pretty fun. So again, I'm not hyped or I don't need it, but at the same time, I'm definitely curious. Once we see a trailer, maybe this Saturday, I don't know how long they've been working on it, but it's been confirmed like it's in production. So yeah, Eyes of Wakanda, I don't know. I feel like I'm a little bit higher on it than other people. I know I've been saying they need to cut down their production, but I'm pretty excited to see this. Next up's going to be Fantastic Four. I know that we just got like our first footage leaked for this. It definitely looked really good. It looked highly stylized. I know that a lot of people aren't too sold on the casting. I'm going to be honest. I am one of those people. I don't really love the cast. Yes, they got star names. I get it. Star power is key, right? But I just don't know if I absolutely love this cast and like the names that they actually put into this film. Don't get me wrong though. At the end of the day, I am pretty hyped for this movie. I know that I kind of undersold it, but after seeing that video, it looked like, and this is the only way I could describe it, this movie's going to have some sauce. I don't need it right now. I want to see an official trailer. I want to, set my expectations a bit low or a bit medium. But I'm super hyped for this film because it looks like I don't even know what we're doing. We're going into a new universe. This is really going to push the MCU forward. We're going to see the next family of the MCU, especially, again, since we haven't really had a solid team in a while. I don't think the Eternals are exactly a solid team. So, yeah, I'm very excited for this Fantastic Four. We're getting Galactus. It's going to be sick. Maybe a Doctor Doom tease. But, again, I'm not worried about teases. I'm just talking about, like, the individual projects. And, yeah, hopefully the quality of the storytelling in this film will be good. The world building is going to be pretty sick. And, again, I think that Michael Giacchino score is going to be a banger. So, I'm pretty hyped. Up next is going to be Spider-Man Freshman Year. I know that I was just gassing up Eyes of Wakanda. I literally just don't even care about this. Like, I don't know what it is, because I'm a big Spider-Man fan, and I know I just said, oh, animation is such a cool medium to explore stories with. I don't know where this fits into the MCU. I don't know where this fits into Marvel Studios. I wish that they would just focus their resources and their time and their energy into their bigger films, into their bigger blockbusters, into their stories, rather than worrying about Disney Plus content. And I get it, some people are excited about this, especially after X-Men 97, which I personally didn't watch because it's just not really, it doesn't really seem like the type of thing that's for me. I understand why people will be excited, but at the same time, I personally just do not care about this show. Speaking of stuff that I don't care about, I'm actually just going to save some time here for you guys. Ironheart and Marvel Zombies, I both do not care about. Like, again, this just feels like MCU content filler, especially on the Marvel Zombies side. They just did the zombie stuff in What If Season 2, which I didn't really even watch because I didn't care again. But it's just one of these things where I'm just like, why are we making a whole show out of this? Why are we dedicating Kevin Feige's time to Marvel Zombies? I'm sure that he's not super invested in it, but at the same time, why? Ironheart. This is a side character from Wakanda Forever, right? I get it. She's like the next Tony Stark. Maybe the younger Avengers is going to be set up. But also, Wakanda Forever, and I get that this isn't this movie's fault, feels just like this very forgettable film that just nobody talks about. And on top of that, a side character like Riri Williams. I don't know if people are going to care that much about this show. I don't care about it. Apparently, it's already done, too. Like, I don't even know what's going on with this. I just don't care. Nova, honestly, I'm putting in I'll put it above Agatha all along. It just feels like Nova is a type of show that should have been released 3 years ago. Because the way I see it is that Xandar was destroyed in Infinity War Endgame, you know, just around that time to get one of the stones. And the reality is, since Nova, I'm pretty sure, is from Xandar, it would have been cool to see how he reacted to that, or at least how he's recovering from that. This show is supposedly years away. I don't know why we're introducing Nova so late into the game. He should have been one of the first characters that we meet in Phase 4 as like one of our fresh new characters. Yeah, sure, if you want to introduce him in just a show, fine. But then you could build him up, maybe put him in the Avengers, I don't know. This show just feels like its time has passed, almost like when the Black Widow film came out like 5 years too late, it felt like. That's what this show reminds me of. Next up is going to be Avengers Secret Wars. See, this is the problem with Avengers Secret Wars. My hype for Avengers Secret Wars completely relies on every single film before it, but especially Avengers Doomsday. I'm going to be putting it in front of Avengers Doomsday. By the way, I don't really care to rank the don't care movies. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm going to be putting it at the top because obviously I'm the most excited for what's going to be like the most epic film in the MCU ever, even over Endgame supposedly. But I need to see just a tease. I need to get some type of information before I could start going out here and just saying, I need this film right now. I cannot wait for this movie. So I need to put it ahead of Avengers Doomsday because, again, I feel like it's going to be more epic. It's probably going to have better storytelling because it's going to be set up nicely. Next up is going to be Shang-Chi 2, and this is a very frustrating movie for me. I need this film right now. And I know that you might be saying, wait, you need Shang-Chi 2 over Secret Wars? Yeah, my answer is yes. We got Shang-Chi Part 1 nearly 3 years ago, and we haven't even heard a word about a release date, about just what's going on with Shang-Chi in the MCU. He hasn't appeared in the MCU. What's going on with Shang-Chi? I have no idea. He is a beloved character at this point. I feel like a lot of people think the film's underrated. It was a hit with fans. And we haven't seen him since. It's been 3 years, and the fact that we're probably not going to get this movie for like 2 more years is ridiculous. They should have striked while the iron's hot, brought Shang-Chi back into the MCU, make him one of these staple characters, like your next Iron Man, Captain America, Thor. Maybe he's not the Iron Man, but even just like the Thor or the Captain America type of character, where he's in that top 3 with like a Sam Wilson and a Doctor Strange. You should have made him appear way sooner, because the fact that it's going to be like 5 years in between sequels is driving me crazy. Could not be more excited for this film. Apparently it's going to be called The Wreckage of Time, which sounds pretty interesting, so maybe it'll have implications for Secret Wars and Doomsday. And again, yeah, I need this film right now. I loved Shang-Chi, and yeah, I don't know what's going on. Next up is going to be Spider-Man 4. This is a weird one because, yeah, I need this movie, but at the same time, I'm just hyped right now. I'm going to be real. It's going to go right here because we have literally zero information about this movie. Apparently, Sony and Marvel were fighting over whether it's going to be like a standalone film in the streets or it's going to be a multiversal story and bringing back Tobey and Andrew. If they bring back Tobey and Andrew, that's going to be like one of the stupidest things they've ever done. It doesn't make any sense. So I feel like, yeah, I'm hyped for this movie, but we haven't even seen a tease yet. Again, this is literally another Shang-Chi situation where this movie should like be coming out this year because No Way Home was such a big hit, but I guess for some reason they had to wait, and I get it, the writer's strike, but still, this movie should have been in production like practically the second No Way Home ended because people want to see Spider-Man, so I don't know what they're doing. He's one of the staples of the MCU, and we haven't seen him in years, so no idea what's going on there. Jumping right into Thunderbolts here. Thunderbolts is a weird one for me because I am very excited, but I'm going to put it at the top of curious. And again, the reason that I'm so curious about this is because we still don't really have like a concrete story for this film. Like, I get it. We have like our ragtag Suicide Squad type of heroes coming together, and I really enjoy some of these characters, but we don't really have a story locked down. I know Sentry's going to be in here, which is going to be pretty sick. But again, once we get that first trailer, that first tease, I'm going to be a lot more excited. But yeah, hopefully it'll have like a more gritty tone to it. That would be sick. And I'm so happy that Florence Pugh is going to be returning as Yelena. But jumping right here into Vision Quest, I do not care about Vision Quest. Like, all these shows, they don't need to come out. I don't think anyone would care if any of these shows didn't come out. Maybe I'll give them a pass on Spider-Man. These shows don't need to come out. You're wasting resources. The fact that this is going to be the second spin-off show of WandaVision is insane. With Agatha and then Vision Quest, why are we making 2 spin-off shows off of 1 MCU show? That blows my mind. It's so dumb. It's clear that they just wrote themselves into a corner by introducing White Vision in WandaVision, and in my opinion, he was one of the worst parts of it because I didn't really enjoy the finale of WandaVision too much. They clearly wrote themselves into a corner, and now they're like forced to make a show about Vision. Who cares? Are we serious? Can we not move on? This is actually ridiculous, and this is one of these decisions that, like, every time that I want to say the MCU's back, they make a stupid decision like this, like trying to bring Vision back. It's over. Speaking of things I don't care about, guys, believe it or not, there's a trend here. What if season 3? What if season 1, I remember when it came out, it was going to be super cool. It was going to be like all these what if situations. And I watched it and I was like, half these episodes are kind of cool, but half of them are like stupid, like party Thor. Like, what if Thor was partying? This isn't what I want to see. I want to see what happens in the MCU when a character switches places with another character, or something crazy happens, a different scenario. But instead, we're getting things like, oh, Happy Hogan saves Christmas. Guys, what are we doing here? I barely even watched season 2. Like, I watched like 1 episode. I just don't care. And I don't care for season 3 because they're just going to do the same thing again. Wonder Man, just to finish things off here, is going to go in I actually care about it maybe a little bit more than Agatha and maybe a little bit more than Nova because at least it's in production. But yeah, this is just a show that I do not care about. As you guys can see, the future of the MCU is looking pretty bleak, if I'm going to be honest with you, especially on the Disney Plus side, because good God, they need to literally scrap some of these shows. I respect the creatives behind these shows and the fact that they're hired, they're getting work, but they just don't need to be making these. They're wasting too much time on these. Can we just focus on the movies, please? But yeah, once we get Black Panther 3 announced, potentially, once we get a Doctor Strange 3 announced, potentially, I'm going to be a lot more excited for the MCU, maybe a Thor 5, but at this point in time, as you guys can see, I'm more excited for the movies because I feel like there's more concrete stuff there, and the shows, it just feels like content. It doesn't even feel like a creative, process going on here. But yeah, guys, that's going to just about do it for my tier list. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think about it. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.